You're 22, fresh out of a family meeting where your own brother looks you dead in the eye and says, "You're nothing but a dropout with pipe dreams. Go flip burgers while I build an empire on what you whispered to me one drunken night." His words? They don't just sting. They carve into your chest like a dull knife, twisting with every breath you take later that night, alone in your beat-up car, fists clenched so tight your nails draw blood from your palms. But what if I told you that 6 years later, that same brother is on his knees in my corner office, voice cracking as he begs for a job, any job, because the company he stole from me? I just swallowed it whole for $99 million. And the best part? He never saw it coming. Not the plan. Not the rise. Not the fall he built for himself. Stick around, because this isn't just revenge. This is the slow burn symphony of justice that you'll replay in your head for weeks. If you've ever been kicked when you're down, betrayed by blood, laughed at by the ones who should lift you up, then this story's for you. It's raw, it's real, and it's the kind of payback that makes your soul exhale. Hit that like button if you're already feeling the fire. Smash subscribe for more tales of triumph over trash, and let's dive in. You won't want to pause this one. Let's rewind to the beginning, or what felt like the end. Picture Mia Harper, that's me, 22 years old, with calluses on my hands from scrubbing counters at a diner that smelled like grease and broken dreams. I'd just stormed out of our family home in the suburbs, the kind with a manicured lawn that hid the rot underneath. My backpack, stuffed with half-read coding textbooks and a laptop held together by duct tape, thumped against the passenger seat like an accusation. The fight replayed in my head on loop, each word a fresh bruise. It started innocently enough: Thanksgiving dinner, turkey cooling on the platter, Mom's forced laughter echoing off the floral wallpaper. Dad was already 3 beers in, nodding along to whatever my brother Liam was saying. Liam, tall, broad-shouldered, with that easy grin that made professors and investors melt. At 25, he was the golden child, the one who'd breezed through Stanford on a tech scholarship, interning at startups before he could legally drink. Me? I'd scraped into community college on loans that felt like shackles, majoring in computer science because in the quiet hours when the house slept, I'd taught myself Python on a borrowed desktop, dreaming of apps that could change lives. That night, as pie was sliced, I let it slip. Maybe it was the wine, or the way Liam's eyes lit up when he talked about his big idea for a social platform. Something about connecting freelancers with gigs, but clunky, like he'd ripped it from a TED Talk without the soul. "I've got something better," I said, voice barely above the clink of forks. "An AI-driven network, not just matching jobs, but predicting needs, learning from user patterns, suggesting collaborations before you even know you need them. It'd be like a mind-reading career coach." The table went quiet. Liam's fork paused midair, pie crust flaking onto his plate. Then he laughed, not a chuckle, but a bark that sliced the air. "Mia, come on. You're cute when you dream big, but let's be real. You dropped out last semester after that nervous breakdown. Mom's words, not mine. And now you're pitching fairy tales? Stick to what you know. Waiting tables. This world's for winners, not quitters." His eyes met mine across the table, cold as the November chill seeping through the window. Mom shifted, murmuring something about family support, but Dad just grunted, eyes on his phone. I felt it then, the heat crawling up my neck, not just anger, but something deeper, a hollow ache in my gut like I'd swallowed glass. My hands trembled under the table, nails digging into my thighs until the fabric of my jeans whispered a faint rip. Useless, his voice echoed in my skull. Dropout? Fairy tales? I wanted to scream that I'd coded the prototype in stolen hours between shifts, that it worked, flawlessly in simulations, but the words stuck, choked by the weight of their stares. I mumbled an excuse about a headache and fled to the garage, keys jingling like chains. The engine coughed to life, wipers smearing the rain into blurry streaks. As I peeled out, Liam's laughter chased me down the driveway, mingling with the downpour. That night in a motel off I-5 that reeked of stale smoke and regret, I curled on the lumpy bed, phone buzzing with a group text from family chat, a meme of a clown car, captioned, "When your dreams crash harder than Mia's GPA." Liam's doing, no doubt. Tears burned hot tracks down my cheeks, but beneath them, a spark flickered, tiny, defiant. "They'll see," I whispered to the stained ceiling. "One day you'll choke on that laugh." Fast forward 3 months. I'd crashed on a cousin's couch in Portland, trading shifts at a coffee shop for a corner in her studio apartment. The place was a shoebox, peeling paint the color of faded hope, a single window framing the relentless drizzle. My days blurred into a rhythm of steam hisses from the espresso machine, the bitter tang of over-roasted beans clinging to my skin like failure. Customers barked orders. "Double shot? No foam? Make it quick?" And I'd nod, smile plastered on, while inside, my mind raced circuits of code. Late nights, after the cousin's snores rattled the thin walls, I'd huddle over my laptop, screen's glow the only light in the dark. Fingers flew across keys, debugging lines that twisted like veins. The app, Miranet, I'd named it in secret after the stars that guided lost ships, grew in fragments. Algorithms that sifted data like a sieve for gold, predicting not just jobs, but lifelines. But money? That was the chain around my neck. Rent ate half my tips, loans the rest. I emailed Liam once from a throwaway account. "Hey, remember that idea? I've built a demo. Thoughts?" No reply. Then, scrolling LinkedIn on a slow afternoon, apron stained with caramel drizzle, I froze. There it was. Harper Innovations launches Nexus Link, revolutionizing freelance networking. Liam's face beamed from the profile pic, suit crisp, backdrop a sleek office with exposed brick and ping-pong tables. The description? It was my pitch, regurgitated, AI matching predictive collabs. Word for word, minus the soul. My stomach lurched, coffee turning sour in my throat. I clicked the article link, heart hammering like a malfunctioning piston. Founded by visionary Liam Harper, Nexus Link uses cutting-edge AI to... Visionary? The word mocked me, a slap across pixels. Comments flooded in. Genius move. Changing the game. And buried in the funding announcement, $2 million seed round from a VC firm I'd once dreamed of pitching to. I slammed the laptop shut, the clap echoing like a gavel. Hot rage boiled up, but it mixed with something colder, betrayal, sharp as frostbite. He took it. My whisper, my late-night grind, and turned it into his throne. I paced the tiny kitchenette, bare feet slapping cold linoleum, breath coming in ragged bursts. Call him out? Post it online? But who would believe the dropout sister over the Stanford star? No, that'd just feed his narrative. Bitter, jealous Mia grasping at straws. Instead, I opened a new tab, searched how to patent software, and started typing. If he wanted to play thief, I'd play inventor. Smarter, stealthier. Spring thawed into summer, and Portland's hipster haze couldn't mask the grind. I landed a gig at a co-working space. Data entry, $15 an hour, inputting spreadsheets that blurred my vision. The office buzzed with ambition. Millennials in hoodies pitching to venture capitalists over kombucha, whiteboards scrawled with buzzwords like disrupt and scale. I kept my head down, but my ears perked at every whisper of funding, every demo day. Miranet evolved in stolen pockets, lunch breaks in the bathroom stall, thumbs swiping code on my phone. Post-shift marathons fueled by vending machine Red Bull, the metallic buzz keeping eyelids propped. Liam's shadow loomed larger. Social media was a minefield I couldn't avoid. Mom's posts gushing about his breakthrough, Dad's proud reposts. One photo gutted me. Liam at a gala, arm around a venture backer, champagne flute raised. Caption, from idea to empire. Grateful for the spark. Spark? My spark, you parasite. I zoomed in on his face, that smug tilt to his mouth, and felt my pulse thunder in my temples. Enjoy it while it lasts, I thought, fingers itching to shatter the screen. But no, patience became my weapon, honed sharp. I filed the provisional patent under a pseudonym, Elena Voss, a nod to the winds that erode mountains, and buried it in legal folders on an encrypted drive. Then the call that cracked the facade. August heat wave, air conditioner wheezing like an old man. My phone lit up. "Mom." I answered, voice neutral as dishwater. "Mia, honey, Liam's company is exploding. They're hiring entry-level stuff, but it's a foot in the door. You could, I don't know, learn from him?" Her tone dripped pity, the kind that coats knives. I gripped the counter, knuckles whitening, the formica edge biting into my palm. "Learn from the thief?" "Sure, Mom. Send the link." The interview was a farce. Their office, his office, gleamed like a tech wet dream. Glass walls, ergonomic chairs that hummed with adjustability, a fridge stocked with craft IPAs. Liam's assistant, a perky 20-something named Tessa, led me to a conference room overlooking the Puget Sound, waves glittering mockingly. Then he strode in, all pressed khakis and cologne that screamed success. His eyes flicked over me, faded blouse from Goodwill, hair in a hasty ponytail, and the corner of his mouth twitched. Not a smile, a smirk. "Mia, didn't expect you'd actually apply." He sank into the leather chair, legs crossed, fingers steepled like a king granting audience. "Look, Nexus Link's about innovation, high performers. But hey, family discount? We could use a receptionist. Answer phones, fetch coffee? Pays better than slinging lattes, right?" The air thickened, his words landing like punches to soft flesh. I sat ramrod straight, nails carving crescents into my notepad, the pen's tip hovering like a dagger. "High performers? Like the one whose idea you're peddling?" My throat burned, voice steady only through sheer will. "Actually, Liam, I've been working on something. An enhancement to your IP platform, predictive branching based on user psychometrics. Could boost retention by 40%. Lie half-truth, testing him." He leaned back, chuckle rumbling low, condescending. "Psycho what? Mia, stick to basics. You're not cut out for the tech side. Remember college? You bailed when it got hard." His eyes bored in, daring me to crumble. The room spun a fraction, humiliation's old friend, and I tasted copper, biting my tongue to stem the flood. "Bailed? You mean when Dad's medical bills buried us and you were too busy partying to help?" But I swallowed it, forced a nod. "Receptionist it is then. I took the job. God help me, I took it. Not for the $8 an hour, but for the access. The keycard that buzzed me into their servers after hours. The water cooler gossip about bugs in Nexus Link's code, glitches I'd spotted in my prototype years ago. Every Mia copies now. From Tessa was a thread I unraveled mentally. Liam barely acknowledged me, a nod in the hallway. Once a curt "good work" when I covered his lunch run without complaint. But I saw it. The underestimation, the way he'd glance past me like furniture. It fueled the fire, low and steady, embers glowing in my chest during commutes home, bus fumes choking the air as I sketched algorithms on napkins. Months bled into a year. Nexus Link ballooned, Series A funding, $10 million, headlines in TechCrunch calling Liam the next Zuckerberg of gigs. The office metastasized. More glass, more hoodies, morale-boosting foosball tournaments where I'd linger on the fringes, nursing a warm seltzer, eavesdropping on boardroom leaks. User drop-offs at 25%, I'd hear a dev mutter. Because it's soulless, I'd think, smirking into my solo cup. Built on stolen bones. My breaking point came on a crisp October evening, 2018. Company Halloween party, pumpkin ales and fake cobwebs draping the atrium. I showed up in thrift store witch garb, broomstick prop hiding a USB drive with Miranet's beta. Liam, drunk on IPA and ego, cornered me by the snack table, cheese puffs crumbling in his fist. "See, Mia? This is what drive looks like. You could have been part of it, if you'd stuck around." His breath was hops and halitosis, words slurring into a pat on my shoulder, heavy as a yoke. Then, spotting his fiancée, blonde, bubbly investor's daughter, he waved me off. "Go mingle, sis. Or don't. Whatever." I slipped into the stairwell, the party's bass thumping muffled through concrete. Back pressed to the cold railing, I slid down, knees to chest, the witch hat tumbling away. Sobs racked me, silent, heaving, tasting salt and mascara. "Part of it? You mean complicit in the theft? The USB burned in my pocket like contraband. That night, in my cramped apartment, now solo, rent hiked again, I plugged it in. Screen flickered to life. Miranet, alive, pulsing with potential. Lines of code scrolled like a manifesto. Enough, I whispered, voice raw. Time to build my own fire. The pivot was surgical. I quit the next Monday. No notice, just a post-it on Tessa's desk. Family emergency. Best. Liam's text later. Lazy as ever. Don't burn bridges. Oh, brother, I thought, deleting it with a flourish. This bridge? I'm dynamiting it. Portland's startup scene was a jungle, but I hacked my way in. First, a side hustle. Freelancing code tweaks for indie devs on Upwork. $50 gigs that stacked like bricks. Each paycheck bought server time, cloud credits. Nights stretched endless. Ramen bowls cooling untouched. Eyes burning from blue light. But the code sang. Refining. Iterating. Miranet wasn't just an app anymore. It was a beast, learning from beta testers I recruited via Reddit threads. DM for free access, freelancers only. Feedback poured in. This gets me. Predicted a collab I needed yesterday. Validation, sweet as forbidden fruit. By spring 2019, I'd bootstrapped a pitch deck, sleek, no frills, just metrics that screamed gold. I hit the circuit. Coffee meetups in lofts smelling of patchouli and ambition. Demo nights where spotlights baked sweat into your collar. Rejection stung. Too niche. Market saturated. But each no was fuel, sharpening my hook. Nexus Link matches jobs. Miranet builds careers. And then the crack in the dam. A VC from Portland Seedworks. Mid-40s, sharp-eyed and wire-rimmed glasses. Elena, my alias, nailed the elevator pitch over cold brew. Imagine LinkedIn with a crystal ball. Her card burned in my wallet. Let's talk numbers. Seed round, $500K. Not Liam's millions, but mine. Clean, untainted. I incorporated as Voss Ventures, LLC, a nod to the pseudonym. Address a virtual mailbox to keep Mia Harper buried. Hired my first employee, Raj, a laid-off dev from a failed crypto startup. His resume a laundry list of languages I needed. We set up in a shared space, bamboo desks, whiteboards smeared with dry erase ghosts, and the grind leveled up. Days dissolved into war rooms, white-hot arguments over APIs, all-nighters debugging crashes that echoed like thunder. Raj's laugh cut the tension. Boss, this code's drunk. And for the first time, I felt it. Not just survival, but thrive. A warmth in my chest, tentative like sunlight-piercing fog. But Liam? He haunted the periphery. Whispers at industry mixers. Nexus links scaling. Acquisitions incoming. I nodded politely. Miranet's demo on my phone a secret blade. Once at a tech fair in Seattle. Booths humming with VR headsets and QR code swag. I locked eyes with him across the hall. He was keynoting, spotlight gilding his hair, crowd applauding his vision. Post-talk, he approached my booth. Curiosity, maybe rivalry. Elena? Interesting name. Platform looks familiar. His gaze probed, a fox sniffing traps. I met it cool, extending a hand slick with nerves. Predictive networking. Fresh take. No recognition dawned. To him, I was just another founder in heels and blazer. Heard of Nexus Link? We own this space. Arrogance dripped, infuriatingly casual. My pulse spiked, but I smiled. Razor thin. Heard. Congrats. But predictions the future. Yours is yesterday's match. He chuckled, dismissing, but I saw the flicker. Unease. Good, I thought, watching him weave away. Start sweating. Growth accelerated like a freight train off rails. User acquisition. Viral loops baked in. Freelancers sharing, this app knew I needed a graphic designer, before my client meltdown. Metrics climbed. 10K users. 50K. Retention at 85%. Funding round stacked. Series A, $4 million led by that Seedworks VC. Her toast at closing. To wines that carve canyons. I dropped the alias then. Emerging as Mia Harper in press releases, calculated, a ghost rising. Mom called, voice quivering. Mia? In Forbes? Liam said. Well, he's proud. Proud? Liar's tongue. I hung up, focusing on scale. Team to 20, office in downtown Portland, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Willamette, not sound. Conflict simmered under the surface. Liam's jabs leaked through family channels, holiday cards with Nexus Link swag enclosed, a passive-aggressive olive branch. At Christmas 2820, Zoom, pandemic pixels flickering, I muted myself during his monologue on pivot to remote, my screen split, his smug face, my dashboard glowing with 500K users. Pivot? You mean steal and stagnate. Chat exploded post-call, cousins fawning. Liam's killing it. I typed nothing, seething silent, the cursor blinking like an accusation. The underestimation peaked at TechFest 2021, a cavernous convention center in San Francisco, air thick with solder fumes and schmooze. Mironette's booth, minimalist holographic demos projecting career webs in mid-air. Nexus Link's garish branded swag towers. Liam sauntered over mid-afternoon, entourage in tow. Devs, a PR flack. Mia, fancy seeing you here. Cute setup. But let's be honest, Nexus is the gorilla. You? The scrappy chimp. Laughter rippled from his pack. A hyena chorus. Heat flushed my face. Not shame this time. Fury, pure and molten. Raj beside me stiffened. I laid a hand on his arm steady. Gorillas go extinct, Liam. Chimps adapt. He leaned in, voice low, venomous. Adapt? You're riding coattails, my coattails. That predictive junk? Riffing off what I built. Lies, bold as brass. The crowd milled oblivious, but inside, my vision tunneled. His pores, the tick in his jaw, the way his cologne masked insecurity. Your build? On my whispers. I straightened, voice ice. Keep telling yourself that. Watch the metrics. He scoffed, turning away. Call me when you need a real job. But his shoulders tensed. A crack in the armor. That night, hotel room overlooking the bay, waves lapping black water, I paced carpet worn threadbare by transient dreams. Laptop open, emails pinging, acquisition interest from big tech scouts. Not yet, I murmured, fingers trembling as I drafted the patent enforcement letter. Lawyers I'd retained, shark-toothed, on retainer, had compiled the dossier. Timestamps from my old hard drive, email trails, even a witness statement from that drunken night, a cousin who'd overheard. The plan crystallized, not destruction, but domination. Launch the full suite, AI coaching add-on, monetized via premium tiers. Flood the market. Then the buyout offer, lowball, insulting, forcing his hand. Execution unfolded like a chess master stroke, pieces sliding with inexorable grace. 2022, Mironette hits 5 million users. Partnerships with Upwork, Fiverr, irony's bitter pill. Ads ran subtle. Don't just match. Master your future. Nexus Link's stock, public now, IPO buzz, dipped 12% on earnings call leaks. Stagnant growth. Liam's face on CNBC, strained smile cracking. I watched from my jet to New York, leather seat creaking, champagne flute cool against my palm. Feel it yet? The ground shifting? Family rift widened. Mom's voicemails. Liam's stressed. Says competitors are copying. Be kind, Mia. Kind? I deleted, throat tight. Dad's rare text. Proud of you both. Both? As if equal. The injustice festered, a canker sore. Nights I'd wait gasping, sheets tangled, replaying his smirks, his thefts. But determination armored me. Therapy sessions squeezed between board meetings, unpacking the betrayal like shrapnel. It's not just the idea, I'd tell the counselor, voice cracking over Zoom. It's the erasure. Like I never existed. Her nod soft. Reclaim it. All of it. By 2023, the noose tightened. Mironette's valuation soared. $200 million post-Series C, while Nexus Link hemorrhaged. User exodus to our superior UX. Lawsuits from freelancers over data mishandling, karma's whisper. I greenlit the patent suit, quiet, out of court, a settlement demand laced with evidence. Liam's lawyers balked, but cracks showed. insider trades spiking, board whispers of poison pill. The turning point? A leaked board memo, courtesy of a Nexus dev who jumped ship to us. Disgruntled, idealistic. Harper's desperate, open to merger talks. My office then, penthouse now, city sprawl at my feet, team huddled around a conference table scarred from dry erase wars. Raj grinned. We take 'em? I leaned back, pulse steady as code. We absorb them. The plan? Hostile tender offer, 99 million, peanuts to our war chest, a slap to his empire's face. Months of shadow play followed. Investment bankers in pinstripes murmuring over steak dinners, NDAs thicker than my old laptop. Sleepless nights, yes, stomach churning with what-ifs. What if he fights dirty? Sues for defamation? But the internal roar drowned doubt. This is justice. Earned in sweat, coded in silence. Liam caught wind late. Frantic calls to mom, relayed in teary voicemails. Mia's gunning for me. Help! I listened once, his voice breaking, raw, pleading, and felt nothing. Not glee yet. Just the slow uncoil of a spring long compressed. Tender launch, dawn press release timed for market open. Voss Ventures announces intent to acquire Nexus Link for 99 yami, uniting forces in freelance innovation. Stock plummeted 40%. Liam's emergency board meeting? Leaked audio. His shout, "This is my company." She's bluffing. But the votes turned. Investors scenting profit and merger synergies. Confrontation brewed in neutral ground. Neutral conference room in a downtown Seattle high-rise. July 2024. Rain lashed the glass, mirroring the storm inside. I arrived first, suit tailored sharp, hair pinned like a crown. Raj flanked me, laptop humming with projections. Then the door banged open. Liam, disheveled, tie askew, eyes bloodshot hollows. His entourage, 2 lawyers, pale as ghosts. Mia. The word rasped, not the bark of old. He collapsed into a chair, fists clenched on the mahogany. What the hell? This acquisition? It's a hit job. I met his gaze, calm as deep water. Hit job? No, Liam. Business. Your platform's bleeding. 15% market share lost this quarter alone. Miranet offers stability. Growth. The lawyer interjected, voice oily. Terms are punitive. Equity wipeout? I slid the term sheet across, pages crisp. $99 million cash. Your team integrates, except executive layer. Fresh start. Lies, soft. We'd gut the C-suite, rebrand. Liam's face crumpled, red blooming, veins bulging. You did this. The patents, the poaching. It's revenge, isn't it? For that dinner? The job? His voice cracked, a boy's plea. For the dinner? For the theft that birthed your throne? The room spun a beat, old wounds flaring, but I held, breath even. Revenge implies pettiness. This is evolution. You took my spark. I built the fire. He lunged forward, chair scraping like nails on chalkboard. Spark? You were a dropout rambling nonsense. I made it real. Spittle flecked the table, his chest heaving, the mask shattered. Lawyers tugged his sleeve. He shrugged them off, eyes wild. Mom said you're bitter. Dad thinks you're lucky. But this destroys me. The air crackled, his desperation a tangible fog. I felt it then. The release, not a flood, but a dam breaking slow. Pity flickered, brief as a shadow, then hardened to resolve. Destroys? Or rebirths? Sign, Liam? Or watch it burn without you? He stared, breath ragged, the rain's tattoo the only sound. Minutes stretched eternal, his fingers twitching toward the pen, retreating, then claiming it. Signature scrawled, ink bleeding like wounds. You win, he muttered, voice hollow. Happy now? I stood, extending a hand, not triumph, but closure. Not happy, just even. He ignored it, slumping, defeated. As we filed out, his whisper trailed, I never saw it. The ink dried, but the echo lingered. Closing day, 3 weeks later, Voss HQ, now absorbing Nexus's husk. I stood at the window, skyline a jagged crown, as the announcement rippled. Press frenzy, stock tickers green. Liam's office? Gutted. Reconfigured as a collab space. His nameplate tossed in recycling like yesterday's news. He showed unannounced that afternoon. Knock tentative, shoulders hunched in a rumpled button-down. No entourage. Just him, eyes downcast, a man shorn of armor. "Mia, can we talk?" I gestured to the couch, once his rival's, now mine. He sat, knees bouncing, fingers nodding. The board ousted me. Clean break. "No golden parachute?" A bitter laugh escaped, cracking. "Irony, huh?" The thief, penniless. Words hung heavy, the room's AC humming judgment. I leaned forward, elbows on knees, voice steady. Not penniless. Just starting over. Like I did. His head snapped up, eyes wet. Shock, yes, but dawning horror. "You planned this. From the beginning. The job, the silence. God, Mia, I thought you were weak." The admission hung, raw as flayed skin. He buried his face, shoulders shaking, sobs muffled, guttural. Weak? The word ignited old embers, but now it fizzled ash. I watched, chest tight, not with glee, but a profound unburdening, like exhaling after years underwater. "You underestimated me, Liam. Everyone did. But weakness? That's the lie you told yourself to sleep at night." Pause, the city's hum filling space. "What now?" He lifted his head, face streaked, voice small. "A job, anything. Janitor, code monkey, I don't care, just don't erase me," begging. From the golden boy, the reversal hit like vertigo, his powerlessness mirroring mine that rainy night, but inverted. Poetic. I nodded slow, the decision crystallizing. Internship. 6 months probation. Prove you're more than the theft. His relief crashed, grateful nod, hand extended, shaky. We shook, palms clammy, the grip lingering. As he left, back bowed but not broken, I sank into my chair, tears pricking unbidden. Triumph? Yes, but laced with the ache of what family could be. The release washed then, deep, cellular. Validation, not vengeance's spike, but justice's quiet balm. I texted Mom, "Tell Dad, it's done." Her reply, "Proud, finally." Revenge isn't fireworks. It's the slow rebuild, brick by bloodied brick, until the tower you topple is your own cage. Karma whispers, underestimate at your peril. And justice? It's sweetest when it sets you free. Whew! If that didn't leave you with chills and a fist pump, check your pulse. Smash that like if Mia's rise hit home. Drop in the comments. What's your ultimate they never saw it coming moment? And subscribe, bell on, for weekly dives into Reddit's rawest revenges. Next up, a teacher who tormented a kid. Until the kid became dean. See you there. Stay vengeful, stay victorious.